the introduction to Module 9 covered by second quarter. Our first lesson is about the concept, origin, and characteristic of life. Okay? So, guys, our main objective in studying about the concept, origin, and characteristic of life is to define the different various and branches of biology. Okay? We will also identify the different characteristics shared by all living things, describe and explain the different theories on how life began, and illustrate how organisms are classified by one another. Okay? So, here are the different questions or the different key questions that we're going to answer right after discussing about the module number 9. Okay? So, cover nito yung question about what makes living things and non-living things different from one another. Okay? We will also answer the questions on which theory on the origin of life you think is the most believable and why. Okay? So, sasagutin din po natin yan. So, as an overview, there are three main branches of science. Okay? Meron daw tayong three main branches ng science, and these are the physical science, earth science, and life science. Okay? So, alamin muna natin, ano ba yung physical science na tinatawag or science? Diba? What is physical science? So, pag sinabi nating physical science, guys, it is the study of inanimate natural object and the laws that govern them. Okay? It includes physics, chemistry, and astronomy. Yun daw yung cover ng physical science. And we will discuss about that or more on that on the second SEM. Sa third quarter and fourth quarter. Okay? So, si physical science, cover niya yung chemistry, physics, at saka astronomy. Okay? So, physics is, this is a term where we try to break down the whole universe into a set of fundamentals. Okay? The mathematical laws that explain the smaller things in the universe and the largest. While sa chemistry naman, guys, we study about the different compositions, structures, changes, and properties of matter. Okay? Usually, it focus on the scale of chemical bond and its different reactions. Yun yung cover ni chemistry. While the astronomy is, it is used to study the celestial object, including the origin of the planet on which we live. Diba? So, yun yung cover niya. Okay? So, yun yung number 1, guys, the physical science, which has 3 branches. These are the physics, the chemistry, and astronomy. Okay? Next naman is the earth science. Okay? The earth science is the study of the earth and the physical components that make it up. Okay? It is the constitution of the atmosphere, the seas, the land, and how those things are tied together. So, this earth science includes the geology, oceanography, meteorology, and paleontology. So, guys, pag sinabi nating paleontology, nabanggit na natin to sa past discussion natin, wherein it is the study of life that lived in prehistoric and geologic period. Okay? So, sumunod naman, the geology naman is the study of structure, the evolution, and the dynamics of Earth and its natural, mineral, and energy. Then the last one that discovered by earth science is the meteorology. Okay? Pangalawa pala, sorry po. Yung pangalawa, the meteorology is the study of the atmosphere, the atmospheric phenomena, okay? Atmospheric effect, and also the weather. Actually, napag-aralan natin to, about the weather, about the meteorological process, diba? Meteorological hazard, diba? So, na-discuss na natin siya. Then, the oceanography naman, it applies the different study about the chemistry, the geology, the meteorology, biology, and the different branches of science that study on the oceans or studied about the oceans. Ano? So, it is a scientific discipline which concerns all the aspect of worlds, oceans, and seas. Ayan. So, yun yung cover ng oceanography. Dito, dinidiscuss yung lahat ng meron, ano? Lahat ng meron sa karagatan, no? The world's largest sea, its composition, the different concerns about it, 'di ba? So, yun yung dinidiscuss sa kanya. Okay? Then, the last part or the last main branch of science is the life science. Wherein, ito yung i-discuss natin today. Okay? Ito yung cover natin sa second quarter. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating life science, it is the study of life and living things. Okay? Living things are what we call the organisms, and the life is often referred to as biology. Okay? So, dito sa module na to, we will focus more on life science. Okay? So, yun yung mga pag-aaralan natin. So, these are the specifications, ano? Specifications of the different branches of biology na pag-aaralan natin during the second quarter. These are the botany, okay, zoology, microbiology, entomology, cell biology, or cytology. Yan. Si botany is more on about plants, the study about plants. Zoology is more on animals. Microbiology naman is about the microorganisms, kagaya na lang ng bacteria, ng virus, 'di ba? Yan, pag-aaralan natin yan. Actually, meron tayong last year, yung batch ng grade 11 last year, meron silang nai-project na microscope. Okay? So, yun, pwede nating magamit yun, ano? Kapag mag-aaral tayo about microbiology. So, pwede ko siyang hiramin sa school para maipakita talaga sa inyo yung different or microorganisms na pag-aaralan natin. Then, we also have the entomology. Okay? Wherein we will talk more on insects. Okay? The cell biology naman is about the cells and its functions. No? Then, sa histology is yung mga microanatomy. Diba? Yung microanatomy is yung microscopic structure ng tissues ng organism. Okay? Then, anatomy is the structure of the parts of an organism. Physiology is the functions and relationship of the body parts. The genetics, we will talk about more on genes. Okay? Then the traits and also the inheritance. Then epidemiology is about the different causes of disease and how they spread. Yan, kagaya na lang ng coronavirus, di ba? Saan nga ba nakukuha ang coronavirus at paano nga ba ito kumakalat, ano? Then next is the pathology, which is we will talk about more on diseases. Okay? Then bacteriology. Yan, about bacteria. Virology naman is the study about the viruses. Okay? Ecology is about the interaction of organism with one another and its environment. Then, taxonomy is the classification and name of organism. So, yun yung mga cover ng biology, ano? The different branches of biology wherein i-discuss natin siya ngayong second quarter. Okay? Now, let us proceed with the next page. Yan. Yan. So, okay? So, as you can see here in the table, there are 3 major branches of biology. Okay? So, these are the botany, the zoology, and the microbiology. Okay? So, excuse me lang po. Teddy James, nagklaklase ako. Huwag mong pagingayin ng mga aso. Okay. So, nanaway lang ako ng pasaway. Okay. So, sa botany, yan, ito yung mga cover niya, the mycology, paleobotany, okay? The horticulture, okay? The bryology, yan, yun yung mga cover niya. Sa zoology naman is the entomology, ichthyology, okay? O mythology, yan, anatomy, yan, physiology, yan yung cover niya. Then sa microbiology, it covers about the bacteriology, the mycology, okay? Protozoology, yan yung mga cover niya. Okay? So, a living thing pertains to any organism or life form, okay, that possess or shows the different characteristic of life or being alive. So, ang isang living organism or living thing daw is pinepertain nito yung isang organism or kahit anong organism, any of the organism that has or possess life. Okay? And they shows the different characteristic of being alive or having life. Let's say for example is number 1, yung characteristic ng isang living organism is it is having an orderly structure of organization. Okay? So the organisms are, when they are grouped according to their similar structure and functions, they can be organized into following levels, according to the cells, tissues, organs, organ system, diba? Organism population, okay, community, ecosystem, biomes, and biosphere. Doon siya kinakategorize. Okay? Kapag igugrupo siya. Halimbawa, 4 ang paa. Diba? Halimbawa, 3 ang paa, 2 ang paa. Yan, kinakategorize sila sa ganun. Diba? So, they are being grouped into an orderly structured organization na tinatawag. Okay? Next, number 2. An organism is also composed of the basic unit of life, which is what we call the cell. Diba? Ang isang living organism, meron siyang cell na tinatawag. It is because the cell is the basic structure or the what we call the basic building blocks, the building blocks of our body or the building blocks of the body of an organism. So, halimbawa na lang sa tao, ang katawan ng isang tao is nagko-compose ng umaabot sa 37.2 trillion cells. 'Di ba? Ganong kadami yung cell na meron sa katawan ng isang organism o ng isang tao. 'Di ba? Then aside from that is meron siyang negative or minus 0.81 trillion cells, which is nagko-compose ito ng red blood cell at saka na umaabot sa 84%. Okay? Then, ito yung pinakang structure, Etong illustration na to, ito yung pinakang structure wherein nagpapakita siya o ng kung ano ba yung meron, sa katawan ng isang organism. Okay? So, let's say, this atom, okay, the smallest particle, okay, turned into a molecule, then turned into macromolecule, then the organelle. Etong atom, molecule, macromolecule, and the organelle composes the cell. Okay? Doon siya matatagpuan. While the cell is the building block of the tissues, okay, the organ, the organ system that can be found in the body of an organism. Yan. Doon natin siya makikita. Doon natin siya matatagpuan. Okay? So, number 3 is requiring energy or metabolism. Okay? Ang isang living organism, nagre-require siya ng or kailangan ng katawan niya ng energy. Okay? So, saan ba makukuha yung energy ng isang living organism? Either sa kinakain niya, diba? Which may be rich in protein, carbohydrates, lipids, diba? Nucleic acid, 'Di ba? And different vitamins na kailangan ng katawan niya para mas mag-enrich pa ito. 'Di ba? So, metabolism is a term that is used to describe all the chemical reactions that is happening, in the body of an organism. At mine-maintain nito yung living state ng cell natin. Okay? So, in order for this metabolism to maintain the living state of the cell, kailangan niya ng energy. Okay? At yung energy na yon is nanggagaling mismo sa kinakain natin, sa ini-intake natin, And guys, meron tayong dalawang klase ng metabolism. These are the two types of metabolism, These are the catabolism and anabolism. Pag sinabi natin catabolism, it is the breakdown of molecules in order to obtain the energy. Okay? The process of obtaining the molecules para breaking down of molecules in order to obtain or absorb the energy. Okay? Then anabolism naman is this is a synthesis of all compounds needed by the cell. Okay? So later on mas elaborate pa natin what are these catabolism and anabolism. Okay? And ano yung importance niya when it comes on the energy boosting of the cell. Okay? So let us proceed with the next page. Okay? Number 4, guys. Number 4 characteristic of a living organism or living thing is it has the ability to respond to stimuli or movement. 'Di ba? Ang tawag natin doon tropism. Yung kakayanan ng isang living organism para mag-respond. Mag-respond sa stimulus sa paligid niya o sa movement sa paligid niya. 'Di ba? So, sabi dito, a stimulus is any change either internal or external which leads to a response. Okay? So, these rapid changes called stimuli. Yan. So, provoke reactions in living organisms are often very different from those expected from non-living things. Okay? Kasi nga, kumbaga, halimbawa, ikaw ay nadapa, tapos nagasgas yung tuhod mo. 'Di ba? Ang unang-una mong mararamdaman pagka nagasgasan ka is aray. Aray, masakit. Yun ang unang-una mong sasabihin, aray. 'Di ba? Tapos masakit kasi masakit. 'Di ba? Kasi nag-respond ka doon sa na-experience mo. Na nadapa ka, na nagasgasan ka, 'di ba? So, a part of your body gives that information, Then you do the reaction. Okay? So, yung tropism na tinatawag, it is a innate, innate ability of an organism to turn or move in response to stimulus. Guys, meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of tropism. Okay? Number 1 type of tropism is the phototropism. Okay? The phototropism is the ability of an organism to respond to the light. 'Di ba? Let's say for example na lang yung halaman. 'Di ba yung halaman, pag inilagay mo siya sa isang jar, tapos tinakpan mo, halimbawa, tinakpan mo siya, tapos binutasan mo yung tinakip mo ng konti, kung saan mo nilagay o kung saan may butas, at doon pumapasok ang liwanag, doon ang direksyon ng paglaki ng halaman. Tama, 'di ba? O halimbawa na lang yung sa araw, 'di ba? 'Di ba si sunflower, during daytime nakatingala siya o nakaano siya kay araw. Tapos kapag ka naman paggabi na o kapag ka yung takip silim na, tumutungo na si sunflower. Because it has the ability to respond to the light. Same with us, 'di ba? Meron din tayong kakayanan na mag-respond sa liwanag. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag natin na phototropism. Guys, another one is the geotropism or gravitropism. Gravitropism. Medyo nagagal si mama. Gravitropism, it is the ability of an organism to respond in gravity. 'Di ba? Yung mga nahuhulog na bagay. Yan. Syempre, nagre-response ka dyan. 'Diba? Yung halimbawa, nalagdag yung cellphone mo, ay, naku, nahulog yung cellphone ko. 'Di ba? So, ayun agad eh. May response ka kaagad dun eh. May reaction ka kaagad eh. Kasi nahulog yung cellphone mo. 'Di ba? It is because of gravity. Okay? So, yun palang tropism or reaction or response natin when it comes to falling object. Ang tawag natin doon ay geotropism or gravitropism. Okay? So, next one is the chemotropism. Guys, pag sinabi natin chemotropism, it is the ability of an organism to respond to the taste or to any kind of substances. Halimbawa, uminom ka ng juice. Anong lasa ng juice? Nare-recognize mo agad. Pinainom ka ng gamot ni nanay. Ano ang lasa ng gamot na pinainom ni nanay? It is also a substance eh. Diba? So, kakayanan ng katawan natin na mag-response to that. Diba? Yung nagda-drugs. Yung nagda-drugs, may response din yung katawan niya dun sa tinitake niya eh. Diba? Either ma-high siya. Diba? Mag-hallucinate siya. Diba? Yun eh. Yun yung chemiotropism or chemotropism. Okay? Another example ng chemotropism, yung kapag yung magpapagamot ka. Diba? Yung reactions ng katawan mo. Kapag allergy ka sa isang substance, diba? Ako madalas nangyayari sa akin yan. Pag allergy sa substance, talagang grabe yung no? Grabe yung, anong tawag dito? Pantal. Okay? So, alam niyo yung halimbawa ko lang. Year 2015, when I had my first yung nung nagkasakit ako sa baga and I had to undergo anong tawag dito? Anong tawag doon? Basta yung meron akong nung nag-undergo ko ng medications. Talagang yung naging yung naging response ng katawan ko talaga is pumayat ako, talagang pero pumapasok sa trabaho ng time na yun. Nasa AICS na ako, talagang ang nangyari nung time na yon is pag umaga, isinusuka ko yung kinakain ko kasi yung response nga yung gawa ng gamot, diba? Tapos yung ihi mo, iba yung kulay, diba? So, yun. Isa yun sa mga halimbawa ng chemotropism. Diba? So, good thing naman, naging maganda naman yung yung resulta niya right after the medications. Diba? So, another one is the hydropism. Ito naman yung reactions naman ng katawan ng isang organism sa tubig. Merong mga organism na takot sa tubig. May mga organism naman na they feel comfortable when they are in water. Okay? So, yun, hydrotropism. Then, sumunod is the Tigmo Tropism. The Tigmo Tropism is the ability to respond in mechanical stimulation or touch pressure. Diba? Halimbawa, naipit ka. Yan. Alam mo na kaagad na masakit pag naipit ka, diba? Yung konti nga lang yung yung hinliliit mo sa paa, diba? Pagka nasagi dun sa nasagi dun sa pinakang duluhan ng upuan, ang sakit-sakit. Diba? So, isa yun sa halimbawa ng tigmotropism. Diba? Yung mechanical stimulation na tinatawag. Okay? Sumunod naman is traumatropism. Yan, ito madami ito eh. Madami yung klase ng traumatropism eh. 'Di ba? Yung takot sa height kasi baka nung bata ka nahulog ka sa hagdan. 'Di ba? Ako nung bata ko nahulog ako sa tulay eh. Kaya takot ako sa mataas. 'Di ba? Tapos sumunod dito is the galvanotropism or what we call electrotropism. Okay? This galvanotropism or electropism is the ability of our body to respond in electricity. 'Di ba? Yung alam mo na kaagad kapag ka magsasaksa ka ng magpa-plug in ka, 'di ba? So ang nangyayari is alam mo baka makuryente ka. 'Di ba? Nasa isip mo na kaagad 'yun. 'Di ba? Yung pag nag-ground ka, alam mo na agad 'yun eh. 'Di ba? Kasi a part of your mind or a part of your brain gives the message or gives off the message. 'Diba? Para maramdaman mo siya. 'Diba? Then, another characteristic of an organism is it has the capability of growing and development. 'Diba? So, makikita naman yan sa'yo sa inyo as individual. 'Diba? Mula nung bata kayo hanggang ngayon na nagdadalaga na kayo, 'diba? Nag-undergo pa rin kayo ng development. 'Diba? So, growth refers to quantifiable, increase of physical change that may be observed in size, height, and weight. 'Diba? So, dun siya makikita. Then, development is a progressive change of an organism which undergoes the increases, okay, in its physical, social, mental, and emotional development. Yan. Doon siya pumapasok. Okay? Then, number 6 is the capable or capability to reproduce. Ayan. Or reproduction. Pag sinabi natin reproduction it is what we call biological process by which an organism can produce offspring or anak. Okay? You have your pre-creation na tinatawag or procreation or what we call the ability to breed. 'Di ba? So merong dalawang klase ng reproduction, guys. These are asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Pag sinabi nating asexual, from the word as, it means one, okay? Sexual means, okay, interaction, then reproduction, okay? So, it involves one parent that produce an offspring, okay? So, ang involved dito is isang parent lang. Let's say, for example, the starfish, diba? Apart from the starfish is naputol. Yung naputol na parte ng starfish na yon, offspring niya na yon. Kasi mag-develop din yun as starfish. Yung bulate, yan. Yung bulate, pag naputol siya sa gitna, yung naputol na yon, magiging anak niya na yon. Diba? Madalas na nilalaro ng bata yun pag naglalabas si nanay, diba? Naglalabasan ng mga bulate. O, diba? Lalo na sa may malapit sa ilong. Diba? Ganon din yung linta. Diba? Pag naputol yung part ng linta, yung part na yun, yung magiging anak niya. Okay? Asexual reproduction ang tawag doon. Then, sa sexual reproduction, this involves two parents that produces offspring. Okay? So, it has what we call genetic uniqueness na tinatawag. Okay? So, kung saan, karugtong nito yung number 7, which is an organism is coded by genes. Bakit? It is because the organism has its ability to pass its genes from one offspring to another. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag nating DNA. Okay? Guys, pag sinabi nating DNA, it means deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay? So, the DNA contains all the characteristics, okay? Lahat ng characteristics na meron ng isang organism. Yung genes ba na tinatawag. Okay? While the RNA naman is the ribonucleic acid, okay? The ribonucleic acid is, it can be a booster or it sends off the message from the cell, okay? To the different parts of your body. Okay? So, yun po yung number 7. So, kung ano yung nakikita, halimbawa, si nanay, 'di ba? Kung ano yung attitude ni nanay, kung ano yung wangis ni nanay, is makukuha mo. Kasi naipasa na yun sa'yo, yung genes ni nanay. 'Di ba? Hindi po pwedeng yung manok, mangitlog ng aso. Yung aso is manganak ng manok. Hindi pwede. 'Di ba? Kailangan, dito sa number 7, an organism is coded by genes. Kung ano yung itsura ng parent, ganun din ang magiging itsura ng kanyang offspring. Okay? So, alangan namang ikaw ay manganak ng ahas. Inaku po. Siyempre, tao din yung ipapanganak mo, di ba? So, halimbawa, that is just an example, no? So, sumunod naman is number 8, evolution and adaptation to environment. Of course, a living organism has its ability to adapt to its environment. Kaya nga 'di ba meron tayong tinatawag na yung mutation ng isang organism. It has the ability to do the camouflage na tinatawag. 'Di ba? Para hindi sila mahanap o mahuli agad ng kanilang predator. 'Di ba? So, sumunod naman dito sa number 8 pa rin, evolution and adaptation of environment, ang tao. 'Di ba? Lalo na 'yan. It has its ability to adapt to its environment. And of course, to the situation. 'Di ba? Most especially right now, ano yung ginagawa natin ngayon, 'di ba? We adapt to the situation na nararanasan natin ngayon because of pandemic. 'Di ba? Isa 'yan sa mga sign that we are an organism or living organism. 'Di ba? So, pag sinabi nating adaptation, again, is the process of adjusting something to the much better in our environment. Pag sinabi naman nating evolution, it's a broad term that refers to all the change in anything over time. Okay? So, those are the different characteristics of the living organism. So, we cannot consider the virus, yan. Yan, dito, may lang ni ma'am, i-highlight. We cannot consider the virus as a living organism. 'Di ba? Kasi nung isang taon may nagtanong din sa akin yan, ma'am, yung virus po ba living things din po ba 'yon? The living things cannot be considered as living organism. It is because kapag hindi siya, ang kakayanan kasi nito, kapag hindi siya nakapasok sa loob ng katawan ng living things or ng isang organism, hindi siya mabubuhay. Bakit? Kasi complicated yung niya, yung nagko-contain sa kanya. Halimbawa na lamang yung assembles ng molecules, ng proteins, nucleic acid, ng carbohydrates, ng lipids. Complicated siya. Okay? Kaya hindi mo siya mako-consider as living organism. Kapag wala siya sa katawan ng organism, hindi siya mabubuhay. O halimbawa na lang yung coronavirus na sinasabi, 'di ba? Na nararanasan natin hanggang ngayon. 'Di ba? So, once na dumapo yung coronavirus sa katawan ng tao, pumasok yan sa kanyang respiratory system, doon pa lang siya magkakaroon ng kakayanan na mag-reproduce at mabuhay. Pero kapag wala yan sa katawan ng tao, wala yan, hindi yan makakapag-reproduce. Hindi sila makakapagparami. Okay? So, yun po yun. Next one. So, we still have 9 minutes, So, we will, okay. So, evidence suggests that life first evolved around 3.5 billion years ago. And this evidence takes the form of microfossils, okay? Which are what we call the fossils that are too small to be seen without the aid of the microscope. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na prokaryotes at saka eukaryotes. Maybe we will stop our discussion from this topic. Okay? Doon muna tayo sa introduction ng biology and introduction about the different characteristics of living things. So, yung susunod na pag-aaralan natin, guys, is about the different types of cells or the two types of cells para mas ma-elaborate natin.